Hi everyone, Nishka here from EurekaCrystalBeads.com with another helpful beading video for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder, go check out the rest of our channel, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to always know when we're posting new content. Today's project is a really easy bracelet design featuring a brand new bead shape called a Vexolo bead. I'm calling this the new Wave Bracelet because it reminds me so much of my high school days wearing sort of punky looking jewelry, and it has this sort of three-dimensional stud top on this bead that I find very reminiscent of the days when I used to be pretty cool. Um, these beads actually are a new shape made by the same manufacturer as the Zoli Duo beads, which those are the ones that are shaped like commas with two holes, and they come in a left and a right. That's probably one good way to remember those beads. So this bead is V-shaped, as you can see. It has two holes, and it has this tapering top that gives it this extra dimension, like I said, reminding me of old school studs on leather jackets kind of thing, especially the silver one. The other colors are less reminiscent of this, so it gives you a lot of variety of choices in your design. And then the bottom is completely flat, so it is perfect if you want to even use it in bead embroidery, sew it onto something. So we're going to take these guys, and string them together in a really simple way to create this design. But of course, if you want to get crazy and creative, you can add seed beads in between, other two-hole beads, mix and match colors. There's a lot of other colors. Wouldn't the silver look great with some jet in between? There's also some little pops of color, like this nice, fabulous amethyst sort of lustrous color that you could use, and many more. These is just the tip of the iceberg for the Vexolo beads. So what you'll be needing for this particular project is only 14 of these Vexolo beads. You will need a length of chain. We sell this Rolo chain by the foot, and you won't even use all of it. It's just a little section for the bracelet, depending on how large you want to make your bracelet. We'll also need 4 jump rings and a clasp. I chose to use a magnet clasp because I find those are a lot easier to get on and off, especially when your bracelet's a little tighter. So with this one, I actually used an antique one because I wanted it to pop a little more from the really bright chain, and you can just easily pop it off like that. Of course, it'll get stuck to your tools, so be careful with the magnet clasps, but they are pretty secure if there's no other metal bits nearby. So that was what my choice was, but you can use any clasp really, whatever you prefer. I also needed crimp beads here, and I did not cover them in this one, but I will be covering them in this project, so I'll show you how to do both. And you can get these in this really nice combination pack, and it comes with the crimp tubes and the crimp covers that match perfectly already. So we're going to be using this. This is a really cool little package that we have on our website, and we have these in a variety of finishes and colors. So just go to EurekaCrystalBeads.com, and also has this cool little diagram on the back that shows you how to use them, and I will also be showing you in this video. We're going to be using Soft Flex, the .014 in satin silver, and your variety of tools. So here we have your crimper tool, which you'll need to crimp the endings. We have your Soft Flex cutters, and you want to make sure that you're using the flex cutters for this and not regular wire cutters. And just a pair of chain nose or flat nose pliers for opening and closing your jump rings. So let's get started. Okay, so I've cut myself 2 pieces of the soft flex, about 4 inches each. It's a lot more than you'll even need, but I like to have extra space on the sides to hold on to. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to string up my Vexolo beads in this interchanging pattern. So the easiest way to do that is to just line them up first, and then we're going to run the soft flex through them facing up. You don't want to accidentally put one in with this one facing up, although it would be really hard to do because they won't sit flat that way, see? So pretty covered from unnecessary mistakes on that front. And of course, like I said before, if you want to make this design longer, you can go ahead and use more beads, or you can do fewer beads. It's really up to you. It's very versatile. I like this look. It kind of has a bit of like an ID tag type bracelet look. So that's why I chose to just go with this little section as opposed to the whole bracelet. So we're going to take the soft flex and we're just going to string it through one side. But these beads, they're very cool because you can string them all in one direction and you'll end up with a circle. And that is perfect for, say you want to do a pendant or some earrings. So we're doing a second piece of soft flex through the other hole, and you can just hold them and again try to go through them. Try not to skip any beads. That can occasionally become a problem. And try not to lose any beads off your original strand, which can also happen while you're focusing on the ones right in front of you. So be mindful of where that end is. Okay, there it is. So I like to straighten these guys out, and you have this. Okay, so what next? Let me show you. This is the part that can get a little bit tricky, and there is a chance of losing your beads off the strands. So if you can secure them in some way on one side while you work on the other side, that's a good idea. You can wrap some tape around the end, or if you have one of these little holder guys, it's very useful to have. So I'm just going to hold it like that so I don't have to worry about my beads falling off while I work on one end. Okay, so now that you've strung up your beads, the next step is to crimp the ends. So what you're going to do is take one crimp tube, take one of these, do one at a time. Take one of these to the side and just slide that on there. Take the end and slide it through the crimp tube like so. You can use a tool to help you. Pull it down. You want to make sure that the loop isn't too small because you are going to want to get a jump ring on both loops together. So they have to be able to meet. We also don't want it too big because then it'll look kind of unfinished. So just decide how you want it to look. Get that loop on like this, and then grab your crimper tool. You're going to put the crimp bead inside the second chamber of your crimper tool, the one that looks like a kidney bean shape. See right there? And you're going to give it a nice little squish. Now you're going to take the front chamber of your crimper tool and you're going to give it another squish to fold it over. And there you have it. It's got a nice little seam that you can see. Okay, so you're going to do the same on the other side. Crimp bead, feed that soft flex wire through, and you want to just eye it and make sure that it's roughly the same size as your other loop. It's okay if it's not the same size. It won't be super noticeable in the final project. And there you go. You have your 2 loops done on one side. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so here we are all finished with our one section. Looking pretty cool. What we're going to do now is we're going to attach the chain. So I have this like 2mm Rolo chain. You can use any chain you like. This one is the 2mm one in gold. It's very, very small. So it really just depends on the style that you're going for. I thought I just had some of this lying around, so I wanted to see how it would look with a little bit of a more dainty look. So they're sold by the foot. You are not going to need a foot. You just want to make sure that it is the right length for your wrist and that this guy will sit in the middle. So you want your clasp to be on the opposite side of the beaded portion. So in order to get the chain measured right, you're going to take your chain and measure around your wrist to figure out how much it will be around your wrist, where you want it to sit. If you like it lower, then you do it there. If you like it higher up or tighter, you decide. So you take that piece, and this is the entire length of your wrist. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this portion, and that'll take up part of it. So you just subtract that amount and a little extra for the space of the jump rings and for the clasp. So you're sort of eyeing it. It's always better to measure twice and cut once. So if you're ever unsure, you can wrap it around and see how much space there is. But I like mine a little bit looser, so there's always room to cut more. So I will cut mine at the end here, and that'll be the distance of chain that I'm really going to need. That's once you have your cut length of chain, you're going to fold it in half. So meet your ends together. There's your center, and go ahead and cut right there. By the way, I forgot to mention, you don't want to be using the flex wire cutters for your soft flex. For this, for the chain, you really want to use actual wire cutters. These are side wire cutters that help you get closer to the wire itself. So now you have your 2 sections of chain for your bracelet. We're going to take our jump rings and our flat nose plier tools. Going to open a jump ring, and we are going to, so now we've got this. What we're going to do is put some jump rings on the end and attach our magnet clasp. So just like we did before, open, close the jump ring, attach your clasp on one side and on the other side. Sometimes it's easier if you separate the clasp and you attach each one separately. And I will be back once we get to there, and I'll show you how to finish it off. So here we have the magnet clasp attached, and we have our bracelet. So you can stop here if you like. It will remain secure. Your crimp beads are holding everything together, and so are your jump rings and your chain. But if you want to give it a little bit of a finished look, you can add some crimp tube covers. And I didn't do it in this one, and it looks perfectly reasonable to me, but we're going to do it on this one, and you can see the difference with the crimp tube covers. So we have some of these. They came with our basic elements, so why not use them? So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these cute little guys, feed it over the crimp bead. Grab your handy crimper tool again, and you are going to use the first chamber, the round one. Now in this design, it's going to be a little tricky to fit both because they are so close to each other. And I'm going to turn it to the side so that I can get around and make sure that I am closing that bead. Okay, now give it a little squish. Now we're gonna do the same on the other side. And like I said, because these two are so close together, it's gonna be a little bit tricky to get that other one in there, but it's definitely doable. So you wanna feed it over. And you always have tools that you can use. If you need to use some flat nose pliers just to grab the end and turn it, go ahead and do that. That's what they're for. So back to our crimper tool. We are going to give it a nice squish. There will be a seam, that's normal. Okay, there you have it. This is the version with the crimp beads added in gold, and you have this silver version that's a little less fussy, and whoop, there goes the magnets with each other. So you have different options for the look that you can go for. Okay, so here you can see the two different versions, different styles, different looks that you can achieve with these Vexolo beads in a really simple design that is easy, great for beginners, fun, and creates a really kind of cool new wave bracelet. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you visit us over at eurekacrystalbeads.com for all the materials, the beads, the chain, the findings, and of course the tools that you need to make this design, as well as any other jewelry designs that you have in mind. Thanks for watching. Bye.